Chosen one, pause. Before your mind tries to explain why you clicked this, feel what just shifted in your spirit. This is not random. This is not curiosity. This is alignment. Heaven leaned in, slowed time, and whispered your name. Only 10 seconds remain, and in the realm you cannot see, something urgent is unfolding. You didn't find this message. This message found you. Chosen one, you've walked through shadows most people never notice. You've carried questions that never fully formed into words. There were nights when confusion pressed heavier than sleep, when you felt called yet unsure, marked yet hidden, strong yet silently bleeding. You sensed eyes on you, spiritually watched, tested, weighed, and you wondered, why does life keep investigating me like this? And chosen one, before we go deeper, pause for a moment, hit subscribe, like, and comment "Amen" if your spirit is already responding. Because this message is about to speak directly to you, not your ears, but the place where destiny lives. Now listen. What you carry are not wounds by accident. They are marks, not visible to the natural eye, but blazing in the spiritual realm like crowns hidden under veils. Chosen women are often misunderstood because their assignment is encrypted. Light attracts both guidance and opposition. That's why your life felt like a slow investigation. Doors closing, people shifting, patterns repeating until you learned discernment. You were shaped in secrecy. Strength was forged in silence. While others were comforted, you were prepared. While others were explained, you were tested. Every delay, every rejection, every season of isolation was not punishment. It was positioning. Heaven was etching something into you. Chosen one, there are 7 hidden marks only chosen women carry. They explain why your intuition is sharp, why your heart feels deeper, why chaos reacts to your presence. These marks are proof that you were selected before you understood the cost. And now divine timing has caught up with you. This moment is not loud, but it is precise. The veil is thinning, recognition is rising, validation is near. What you've been sensing without language is about to be revealed with clarity. Stay with me, because the truth that's coming next doesn't just explain your past, it unlocks what happens after these 10 seconds. From the very beginning, life did not meet you gently. Even before you had words to describe what you were feeling, you sensed that the world was heavier around you. Childhood, which should have been simple and safe, often felt intense, confusing, or emotionally charged. You may have grown up faster than others, learning resilience before you ever learned ease. And for a long time, you might have wondered, why me? Why did my story start with pressure instead of protection? Chosen one, this was not because you were weak. It was because your destiny was dangerous to darkness. In the spiritual realm, potential is visible long before it manifests. Long before you understood who you were becoming, the enemy recognized what you carried. Chosen women are often attacked early in life because the future authority within them threatens systems of fear, control, and limitation. The pressure you felt was not random. It was resistance. Darkness does not waste energy on empty vessels. Think back for a moment. Were you exposed to emotional wounds too early? Responsibilities too heavy? Criticism, rejection, or instability before you were ready to process it? Did you feel misunderstood in environments that should have nurtured you? These were not coincidences. These were early attempts to distort your identity before it could fully form. But here's the part your pain never told you. You survived. You did not break even when life tried to fracture you. You adapted, you observed, you learned how to read rooms, emotions, and energy with a depth others still don't understand. That sensitivity you once thought was a weakness became your spiritual intelligence. The very attacks meant to silence you sharpened your discernment. Ask yourself honestly, how did you know things no one taught you? How did you sense danger, truth, or deception without being told? How did your heart mature faster than your age? This is not trauma alone. This is the mark of someone trained through fire. Chosen one, early attacks are not signs of abandonment. They are evidence of selection. Gold is tested early because it is valuable. A threat is confronted early because it is real. The enemy tried to interrupt your becoming before it could fully awaken, but failed. And notice this. Despite everything, Your spirit never went dark. You may have been confused, guarded, or tired, but something inside you stayed alive. A quiet light, a refusal to surrender completely. That light is why you're here now, listening, recognizing yourself in these words. So let me ask you, what if your childhood wasn't stolen but strategically survived? What if every early battle trained you for the authority you are now stepping into? What if the attacks didn't disqualify you, but confirmed you? Take a breath and feel that truth settle. You were attacked early because you were chosen early, and this is only the beginning of the revelation. There is a quiet tension inside you that has followed you for as long as you can remember. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand applause, it simply pulls. You don't crave attention, titles, or recognition, yet somehow life keeps positioning you at the edge of meaning, at the doorway of responsibility, at the moment where something important needs to be done. And even when you try to step back, something deeper keeps drawing you forward. Have you felt that? That subtle nudge that says, this matters, man, and so do you, even when you don't know why? Chosen one, this feeling is not confusion. It is calling without full language yet. You may struggle to explain it to others. When people ask what you want, who you are becoming, or where your life is going, your answers feel incomplete. Not because you lack vision, but because what is forming inside you is still unfolding. Purpose rarely arrives as a finished map. It arrives as an inner gravity, a knowing before understanding, a direction before details. You don't want the spotlight, yet responsibility finds you. You don't seek authority, yet people sense something steady in you. You don't announce your strength, yet others lean on you when things fall apart. Ask yourself, why does life keep trusting you with weight, even when you didn't ask for it? Why are you the one who feels responsible for healing, protecting, or guiding even in silence? This is the seal of God activating within you. A seal does not make noise when it opens. It shifts awareness. Suddenly, ordinary moments feel charged. Your conscience becomes sharper. Your tolerance for empty living decreases. What once satisfied you no longer fits. You begin to feel restless, not because you are lost, but because you are being summoned forward. The call is gentle, but persistent. It doesn't force, it reminds. And here is the truth many chosen women wrestle with. Calling doesn't always come with clarity. Sometimes it comes with pressure before peace, stirring before understanding, longing before alignment. God is not confusing you. He is training you to walk by trust before sight. If everything were explained, you wouldn't need faith. If everything were comfortable, you wouldn't grow. Let me ask you something. What keeps returning to your heart, no matter how many times you try to ignore it? What theme, desire, or responsibility keeps circling back? What breaks your heart in a way that also energizes you? These are not random emotions. They are clues. Chosen one, your life is not accidental. Your sensitivity, your restraint, your depth, your resistance to shallow paths. These are all signs of assignment. You are not late. You are not behind. You are being aligned. So breathe. You don't have to explain everything yet. You only have to listen. Because the same God who placed the call within you will reveal it step by step at the pace your spirit can carry. And the fact that you feel it now means the next layer is already preparing to unfold. There is something about you that shifts a room the moment you enter it. You don't raise your voice. You don't demand space. You don't try to stand out. And yet people notice. Some feel drawn toward you, while others grow distant, guarded, or strangely irritated without being able to explain why. Have you ever walked away from an interaction wondering, what did I do? Even though you said nothing wrong and meant no harm? Chosen one, this reaction is not your imagination. Your presence carries truth, and truth has a way of pressing on places people have tried to keep hidden. You are not triggering others because of arrogance or superiority. In fact, you are often gentle, observant, and self-aware. But authenticity has a frequency, and when it enters a space built on masks, it creates discomfort. Light does not accuse darkness, it simply reveals it. Think about this carefully. How many times have people projected onto you things you never said or intended? How often have you been misunderstood, labeled, or subtly resisted for simply being yourself? This happens because chosen women expose realities without speaking. Your calm highlights chaos. Your self-respect reveals insecurity. Your boundaries expose those who benefit from having none. You don't need to confront for exposure to happen. You don't need to correct for truth to surface. Your energy does the work quietly. And for those who are not ready to face their wounds, your presence becomes a mirror they didn't ask to look into. That is why some people feel unsettled around you. Not because you are wrong, but because you are real. Ask yourself, why do people either open up deeply to you or pull away completely? Why do shallow connections struggle to survive around you? Why does dishonesty feel louder in your presence, even when you say nothing? These are not social issues. These are spiritual responses. Chosen one, understand this clearly. You are not here to make everyone comfortable. You are here to anchor truth, and truth often disrupts before it heals. Those who are willing to grow will feel safe with you. Those who are committed to illusion will feel threatened. This is not your burden to carry or fix. It is tempting to dim yourself, to soften your edges, to shrink so others feel at ease. But every time you do that, you silence an assignment placed on you intentionally. Your authenticity is not aggression. Your clarity is not cruelty. Your presence is not a problem. So let me ask you, what if the discomfort you cause is actually an invitation for others to heal? What if the resistance you face is proof that something dormant is being awakened? And what if your role was never to be liked by everyone, but to be aligned with truth? Chosen one, you are not divisive. You are revealing, and the right people, the ones meant to walk with you, will recognize the peace behind your presence, not fear it. There were seasons when the noise faded and suddenly you were alone with your thoughts, your prayers, and questions that echoed louder in the quiet. Friends drifted, familiar connections no longer fit. Even people you once felt close to seemed unable to reach you. And in those moments, you may have asked, did I do something wrong? Why does it feel like I've been set apart? Chosen one, this isolation was not rejection, it was selection. God separates what He is preparing. Just as precious metals are refined away from distraction, chosen women are often led into silence, not to break them, but to shape them. Loneliness was never meant to harm you. It was meant to protect what was forming inside you before the world could touch it prematurely. In isolation, masks fall away. External validation quiets down. And for the first time, you are forced to hear your own spirit clearly. That's uncomfortable at first. Silence brings unresolved emotions to the surface. Old wounds speak, doubts rise. But this is not chaos. It is cleansing. God was removing dependencies, unhealthy attachments, and borrowed identities that could not survive where you are going. Ask yourself, who were you becoming in those quiet seasons? What clarity emerged when no one else was influencing you? What strength did you discover when you realized you could stand alone and still remain whole? These moments were not empty, they were instructional. Chosen women are shaped in silence before being revealed because silence teaches discernment. It teaches patience. It teaches you how to hear God's voice without interference. While others were distracted by crowds, you were being trained to recognize truth without applause. While others were rushing outward, you were being built inward. Yes, it hurt. Yes, there were moments when the loneliness felt heavy. But notice this, something in you matured. You became more grounded, more selective, less desperate for approval. Isolation stripped away what was fragile and strengthened what was eternal. And here is a truth many don't realize. God often removes people not because they are bad, but because they cannot accompany you into your next dimension. Some connections expire not out of conflict, but out of completion. You didn't lose them. You outgrew the season you met them in. So let me ask you, what if those lonely chapters were actually sacred rooms where God whispered your next identity? What if the silence was not absence, but intimacy? What if every tear watered the ground for the strength you now carry? Chosen one, you are not hidden anymore. You are ready. And when the season shifts, you will step forward with wisdom forged in quiet, clarity shaped in stillness, and power refined where no one was watching. There is a pattern in your life that cannot be ignored. Every time it looked like you were finished, somehow you stood back up, changed, quieter, stronger. The moments that should have destroyed you didn't end your story. They deepened it. Breakdowns came, yes. You cried, questioned, even doubted your ability to continue. But somehow, something within you refused to disappear. Have you ever stopped and asked yourself, how am I still standing after all of this? Chosen one, this is not normal resilience. This is a divine mark. What was meant to crush you became the very fire that refined you. Each fall stripped away illusions. Each breaking point removed what could not go with you into your next level. You didn't just survive pain, you metabolized it into wisdom. Where others grew bitter, you grew discerning. Where others hardened, you grew clearer. This is not accidental. This is the signature of someone being trained for authority. Think about it carefully. After every breakdown, didn't your vision sharpen? Didn't your tolerance for manipulation decrease? Didn't you begin to recognize patterns, motives, and energy faster than before? Pain became your teacher, not your prison. And while the process was exhausting, it left you more awake than you were before. Ask yourself, why didn't the breaking destroy your compassion? Why didn't betrayal turn you cruel? Why didn't disappointment erase your faith completely? Something was guarding your core. Something was extracting strength from suffering while protecting your spirit from collapse. That something is God's hand, quietly reinforcing you while life tested your limits. Chosen women do not rise unchanged after breakdowns. They rise upgraded. Each fall activated more discernment. Each loss refined your boundaries. Each disappointment clarified your standards. Authority is not given lightly. It is earned through endurance. And endurance is forged where comfort cannot reach. You may not see it yet, but your resilience speaks before you do. People feel it when you walk into a room. Not loud strength, but grounded strength. The kind that comes from having faced darkness and not letting it claim you. The kind that knows when to speak, when to walk away, and when to stand firm without explanation. Let me ask you something. What if every breakdown was actually a divine recalibration? What if the moments you thought disqualified you were the very moments that qualified you? What if the reason you're still here is because your assignment requires a depth only suffering could produce? Chosen one, nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the delays, not the nights you had to rebuild yourself from pieces. You carry resilience not as armor, but as wisdom. And that wisdom is a mark recognized in the spiritual realm. You didn't just survive what tried to end you. You emerged authorized. There have been moments in your life that still don't fully make sense. Times when danger was close, closer than you realized. And yet somehow you walked away untouched. Situations that should have ended badly shifted at the last second. Decisions you almost made but didn't. Delays that frustrated you then, but later revealed themselves as protection. Have you ever looked back and thought, if that had gone differently, my life would have changed forever? Chosen one, that awareness you feel now is not imagination. It is recognition. You are watched over spiritually, not in a fearful way, but in a covering way. There is an unseen presence that steps in when you cannot. When your discernment wasn't fully developed yet, grace filled the gap. When your emotions clouded your judgment, intervention redirected your path. Those near misses were not accidents. They were interruptions of mercy. Think about it. How many times were you spared from people who later revealed harmful intentions? How often did plans fall apart only to save you from deeper loss? How many moments of danger passed without explanation? An accident avoided, a wrong turn delayed, a message that didn't send, a door that wouldn't open. These were not coincidences stacking up. This was alignment enforcing itself. Chosen women are often protected intensely because their assignment carries weight. When your future holds influence, your present requires covering. God does not reveal everything He saves you from. Some threats are intercepted before they ever reach your awareness. And that is not because you are weak, but because you are valuable. Ask yourself honestly, why are you still here after everything you've survived? Why didn't certain cycles swallow you whole? Why did the worst-case scenario never fully land, even when it seemed inevitable? Something unseen was standing between you and harm, a hand steadying you when you stumbled too close to the edge. This kind of protection doesn't remove hardship, but it limits destruction. You still faced challenges, but they didn't erase you. You still felt pain, but it didn't consume your purpose. God allowed growth, not annihilation. There is a difference. And chosen one, you were always on the side of preservation. Let this truth settle gently. You are not lucky. You are covered. Your life has been guarded because what you carry matters beyond this moment. Heaven does not shield what has no future assignment. So let me ask you, what if every unexplained rescue was proof that your story is not finished? What if the reason you feel watched over is because you are being kept for something still unfolding? And what if your survival itself is a message that your presence on this earth is intentional? Chosen one, trust that covering. Walk with awareness, not fear. The same hand that protected you in ways you'll never fully know is still guiding you forward. Quietly, precisely, faithfully.